Talked about a lot of the positives. A lot of the positives. So we are going to transition, get some of the negatives. You also let me know in the comment section certain things that kind of stood out to you guys that you want improved. So for me, a couple of things that, like I said, I think we got to be better in, or I'm just kind of a little bit critical of. I thought my defensive communication, I still want to see that cleaned up. You look on the, Jordan Addison explosive catch where Peyton Wilson chases him down. It's a mess. It's a blown coverage, and it's not just one player. If it was just one player making a mistake, to me, I can find more confidence in saying, all right, I need to find ways to communicate better with this player, or it's, he's just not understanding. He's not good enough. When I'm looking at this play and I'm like, yo, it's three players over here playing three different coverages. One person is playing cover three, buzzing to the flat, or is he in man? Is he relating to cover? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? And then I'm looking at the other two dudes dang near side by side, and I'm like, what are we doing? And then I'm looking at Peyton Wilson's technique, and I'm like, that's telling me it's a whole different coverage. So I want to figure out how to continue to be clean communication wise, because we know, man, when you have communication breakdowns on defense, that is a fast track to get you beat. Mental errors and missed tackles will get you beat at this level. Heck, at any level, but for sure at this level. So that's the thing that we still got to be clean on until it's perfect out there, which we know it's never ever going to be perfect, but you're always striving for perfection. So for me, I do need to see that. I want to see those dudes improve from a defensive communication standpoint to where we're not having that breakdown, that critical lapse late in the games. Okay. Next thing, when we talk about decision making, the 2 fourth down decisions in the fourth quarter, regardless of if you're a pro go for it or pro punt it / kick the field goal, my grievance is I wanted to be decisive. Just didn't feel like it was decisive. We know with the first situation, it for sure wasn't. We could see where Coach Thomas has the field goal unit ready. He wants to send them out there. Aaron Rodgers notably pissed. He's like, nah, don't do that. So we end up, switching it up, rushing out there. And then we do what I call best of both worlds, right? Best of both worlds is we'll go for it on fourth down, but I'm not going to do anything that could jeopardize field possession or anything stupid happening, meaning strip sack or interception return to the house. So we call the run play. People look at that as you're living in your fears. If you're talking to Coach Tomlin, he's going to say, yo, this is smart ball. This is the ball that you play when you want to make sure that, hey, worst case scenario, they got to go 99 yards. Best case scenario, hey, man, you've been averaging 5 yards a pop. We only need 4. Go score, right? So we can see it both sides. But to me, it's more so just be decisive. If you're pro, go for it, go for it. And if you wanted him to throw that thing, man, throw it, right? But whatever it is, just be decisive in that moment. And that's easier said than done because there are a lot of factors that you're considering, a lot of things. Man, my veteran quarterback who's playing well wants to go. And if we go right here, man, and we really do this thing, whoo, think about the lead. Think about how different that feels. So it's like, I get that. But then you got Coach Tom who's like, yo, from my perspective, I play to win. And my version of winning is different than your version of winning. What you might be willing to do to win, I'm not willing to jeopardize that because of what it exposed me to from a negative standpoint. Some people tongue in cheek and say, oh, that's living in your fears. Others say that's called smart ball. That's called playing to win. But it's all about whatever you want to go with that thing, right? But for me, be decisive. Same thing when we fast forwarded to the end of it. And now, hey, we're going to go for this one right here. It's fourth and less than a yard. Are we going to try to run this thing or are we going to punt this thing, right? Which one we going with? Which one we going with? And once again, it still just looked indecisive. Now, I don't hate the decision, but once again, it's like, yo, can we be more decisive? Pulling the curtain back, I would much rather have had kicked the field goal when they decided to go for it with the Kenneth Gainwell run and then be fine putting that thing off at the end. Or excuse me, be fine going for it at the end, because I also think that the flow of the game would have been different with us being up 13 versus only being up, was it 3 points at that time of the game? You know what I mean? So to me, that part felt a little bit different. I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Another thing that I want improved, I need some wide receiver room clarity. We've been asking about wide receiver 2. Calvin Austin has kind of emerged and really kind of like eased our mind sort of, but at the same time, he's hurt. And we don't even know the severity of it just yet. At least when I'm recording this right now, I haven't checked. But that part makes me concerned because we know what our offense looks like when our second wide receiver is not playing well. We know what our offense will look like if we become one-dimensional. So to me, I do think it's important that we either know that Calvin is not going to be out for an extended period, meaning more than 3 weeks, and we feel good about that, or we need to make a move. We need to have more urgency with that part of it because I don't feel all the way confident with everybody else. Who outside of DK and Calvin Austin has shown consistency and production this season at the wide receiver room? And not even just as a receiver catching the ball, I'm talking even blocking. Heck, one of the reasons why we ran the ball so much better this game, we blocked a lot better on the perimeter this game. You watch DK and how he was blocking. You watch Ben Skronik and how he was blocking. You watch Calvin Austin before he went down and how he was blocking. And it's like, yeah, that's we can run better. That's how you create the explosive runs. Got to block them defenders on the edge. But as I'm looking at everybody else, I'm like, I don't know how confident I feel in the rest of that wide receiver room right now. Now, could somebody develop? Could somebody surprise us and shock us? Sure. But my complaint is I don't know if I'm willing to go through that experiment per se. Because it's one thing to know after the fact, all right, he couldn't do it or he could do it. And if he couldn't do it, great. If he could do it, great. But either way, it's like, yo, after the fact, we got the answer. But to get the answer, we have got to go through it. And I don't necessarily like that feeling of, all right, yeah, we're experiencing it. He ain't doing good, though. All right, we getting it again, but then he's struggling again. So those are some of the things for me personally, like I said, with that wide receiver room that I do want to see just some clarity, and especially with us going into the bye week. We know the trade deadline is was it November 4th? But to say so that first week in November. So we got a little over a month waiting. We also remember how when Mike Williams, we made that move a year ago, it took a little bit of time for him to get acclimated, and we never quite felt like he all the way got integrated into the offense because it takes time. It's complex at this level, right? And on offense, you're dependent upon each other a lot more so than defense. And that's why a guy like Jabril Peppers could come in and just have production. And we're like, yeah, because we can dumb it down for you. And if you're a great athlete, great player, and you're smart, you can fit in this thing. So that part shows. But offensively, it's like, man, I don't want us to wait till the trade deadline to actually go get a receiver if that's what we're going to do. It's like, yeah, man, let's be a little bit more proactive in that situation. So that for sure is what I look at right there because, yes, a Roman Wilson, a Scotty Miller, Ben Skronik, all right, surprised me. But the problem is I just haven't been surprised by those individuals offensively just yet in the same manner that I've been surprised by Calvin Austin. The way Calvin Austin has emerged, we feel confident in him. Even if we make a move for another receiver, we still feel confident that when Calvin Austin is healthy, he's going to make plays. That's the thing that because of him not being healthy right now, I don't have that same level of confidence, man. I'm just being fully transparent, and I know I should. I'm supposed to be biased. I'm supposed to be team black and gold, everything. And hey, if they put the jersey on, that means they're great players. And if they put the jersey on, that means, man, you know what? Our players are always better than their players. And I know I should be like that. I promise I do. I get it. I do. But maybe that's because, the other experience that I've had professionally before I came here. I've seen with it. I was like, yo, no, bro, you don't want to live like that, bro. You don't want to live like that. When you get the time, go get the talent. All right. You could go get the player, go get the player. Just go get the player, go get the player. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not cool. It's not fun. All right. So Tom J stalled me out, man. Don't have blood me like that, but you know it's real. You know it's real, Tom. Because Tom, if my black and gold was as black and gold as you're implying your black and gold is supposed to be, we would have never, ever talked about any need for wide receiver to help. We would say we have it. Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, Ben Skronik, Scotty Miller. We would be like, yo, next man up. Who needs the AJ Brown? Who cares about a Tyreek Hill? We don't care about any of these guys. We got our guys. But, you just like me. Oh man, see, I knew that's why we relate. Because you just like me. I like you, you like me, man. I get it. All right, I get it. So that for sure is why you be acting like that and why you feel like I feel. All right, because that's what we talk about these wide receivers right now. Because it's like, yo, bro, Calvin is hurt. What if it's extended time? We don't know. I seen it when he went down, but it's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Y'all let me know, man. Sheesh. But I don't feel good about it. Okay, I'm a little uneasy about it. Sheesh. And then the final thing, as I'm waiting on you to spin the block, all right, and give me some commentary on that one, because you was over here real just Top J just go call me out. Oh, I'm the only one worried about wide receiver 2 right now. I'm the only one worried about wide receiver 2 after Calvin Austin went down. I can't be. That's not exclusive to me. Can't be exclusive to me. And let's look at the comment section. It for sure ain't exclusive to me. All right. So don't you be doing me like that. Y'all stall me out. Okay. But the other player, the other final grievance that I have, man, just coming out of this game before we get all the way into the bye week stuff. What's up with Pat Fryermuth's role? I'm a fan of Muth. Y'all know, and shout out to you, Tom. Yet I do see you spinning the block. Say, I'm worried. All right. I appreciate you on that. I appreciate you. But Muth, what's his role, man? I'm a fan of Muth. We obviously know Muth just got paid. I've been a fan of Muth since he was at Penn State coming out of there, man, because of what he does athletically, run out the catch, his ability to create separation. Like, I think he's a really, really good player at this level with potential to be dominant in certain aspects. But as I continue to watch the usage in terms of snap counts and the style of, plays that he's in on, it's like, what's his role right now? I don't know how they feeling about him, because when I look at Darnell Washington, we would all agree he's our best blocker, hands down. Not even close. Pass blocking or run blocking, he's the best one. He blocks so good. We was over here really talking about, should we just put him at offensive line? Maybe he can block for us, man. He can block. He can take one of their jobs, bro. Like, that's how well Darnell Washington blocks. We talk about him being an absolute mismatch. I think the commentary was it Iron Eagle. Shout out to Iron. If y'all haven't heard that interview, check that out. We had him on the show. But Iron and JJ Watt was talking about how they look at him as, was it Shaq, right? He's like big Shaq out there, man. You just throw it up to him, man. He gonna, you drawing you pass interferences. And we've seen that. We've seen him catch him too. So it's like, man, we know what Darnell is and why they're so excited about Darnell and why they're using Darnell more. You look at how many snaps he had. He had 40 plus snaps in this game. Nearest dude, I think, had like 18 snaps after that. We like, bro, whoa, what's this? Right? We talk about Jonnu Smith. It's like, man, you watch Jonnu Smith. Jonnu is our behind the line of scrimmage, you could get him the ball, athlete in space, H-back type, right? And that's why you'll see him, as much as he does get those little dump off passes, those little quick to the flat passes where he's given a chance to kind of make a defender miss, because athletically, that's where he's more polished and he's a better short area quickness guy and making guys miss than Muth is right now. But when we talk about Muth is like that best of both worlds guy. He could block a little bit better than Jonnu. He runs routes better than Darnell Washington. But it's almost like they don't know how to fully utilize him, or they're not necessarily being given the proper opportunities. And part of that, to me, stems from our offensive line, some of the up and downs with that. When you don't feel confident in O-line, you got to help them with protection. To help them with protection, you need tight ends that can block. Connor Hayward, Darnell Washington, right? We talk about moving the line of scrimmage, trying to hit some of those athletes, right? The Jonnu Smiths of the world. So when I think of Muth thrives on, vertical routes, right? Those 10 and ins, 10 and outs, the post, the corner routes. Like, that's where the stick and goes, right? That's where he really can shine. But those are longer developing routes, and it's hard to call those when our offensive line doesn't consistently block. Now, if they blocked the way that they did yesterday, different conversation. Way different conversation. But right now, I just don't think we've had enough of that for the staff to feel confident calling these type of plays for Pat Fryermuth. And that's why I look at him and I'm just wondering, like, what does his role look like coming out of the bye? Because we know what he's being paid. But my concern is if they don't figure out a role for him within the next week or so, that might be the dude that they're looking to potentially move off of in that trade element because he brings value to an offense. There are a lot of offenses in the league that could use a Pat Fryer move and would actually make him a focal point. And my issue is not only is he not playing a lot of snaps, even when he's out there with these snaps, he's not even getting targeted. You heard what I said? He's not even getting targeted. I need to, if I'm paying him 12, at least give him 2 passes. He's not even targeted. It's like, nah, you're not about to tell me he's getting blanked. Nah, ain't nobody guard move like that, zone or man. But if he's not a focal point, those are some of the things to me that kind of stand out. And that's why I'm just like, yo, I'm not seeing it. Like, I don't see enough of move. And I know move is nice, but I just what's that? Because that's starting to tell me a little bit something when I'm seeing Darnell Washington have the most snaps in that room. And then the next is Connor Hayward, right? And shout out to Connor, not only because he could block, but he also made tackles on special teams continually, right? Shout out to my dog. Big fan. But it's like, man, what's like, then after Connor Hayward, it was Jonnu Smith. It was like, bro, those 3 had more snaps than Move. And then you look at Move, it's like, Move doesn't have a target? I'm like, yo, he's way too talented, way too nice. You know about to act like he had the Space Jam and they took his talent. No, we ain't going with that one. But at the same time, when you are, more focused on the other elements of your offense, right? Darnell, DK, this running attack, I can understand how Move could get, almost forgotten about. And now that's the reason why when I'm looking at what we're trying to do from a roster standpoint, if we are going to try to make a move to get another receiver, and I'm saying what gives us the best return on investment, we're not looking for draft picks. We need players. So I get this thought process that, yeah, you could send an Alex Highsmith somewhere or make him available, but it's hard to send a pass rusher somewhere when I want a receiver in return because they're going to look like, hey, bro, now I'm losing my receiver that's actually kind of nice. So where's the what am I getting here? But I do think if you're sending Muth out there, it's like, yo, I'm going to take that receiver off your hands, but I'm still giving you an offensive weapon. I'm still giving you a guy that's nice. We just can't figure out space for him here. And we just paid Jonnu Smith also. So if that's the case, then it's like, okay, maybe that's the conversation that they have over this bye week. But I'm just not a fan of seeing Muth not get targeted, man. I think he is way too nice to be getting blanked and to not be even having a ton of snaps. I'm like, bro, if that's the case, why we pay him? Right? We could have just kept him on a puppy chow contract or did the whole GP thing, right? Send him somewhere else and let somebody else pay him. But I'm like, we paid this dude. So we clearly view him as an asset. We clearly look at him as somebody that makes us better. But we still need to find ways to utilize him because we're just not getting any type of production that coincides or at least that is worth what we're paying them. And that's just bad business if we're going to go like that. So it's like, yeah, man, Move don't want to spend the rest of his career just kind of like not getting the action either. Cause it's like, man, there's more money to be made also. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, if we're not able to do that because of other elements of our offense, those are some things that we have to consider. And especially if Calvin is hurt. And that's the other part. With Calvin getting hurt, that's the reason why this conversation sounds the way that it does. When Calvin was healthy, man, we're not interested in that right now. No, not me personally. But with him being hurt, it's like, all right, how long is that? What does that look like? Because I do feel like if that's an extended period, I need more help. And there's still people that don't even believe that Calvin Austin is a true wide receiver 2. They look at him as wide receiver 3, best case, low end wide receiver 2. I'm a little bit higher on him because he's been showing me every time I verbally challenge him, every time I look and I'm like, yo, I want to see this from Calvin. He steps up. Hey, I want to see that from Calvin. He steps up. Hey, man, I still got a little bit of I need that from Calvin. He steps up. So for me, as long as I keep seeing Calvin step up, I'm pro give him ample opportunities. I'm pro give him a chance to prove that he can because he hasn't shown me at any stage that he can't. just yet. When they said he was too small, he can't play on the outside. He's a slot exclusive guy. He's not a good route runner. He's not going to be able to survive the big hits. Man, is he only going to be a special teams return man? Can he actually touch paint as a return man? These are all the things that we've been looking and me having questions on as well. And it's like, check. So when you see him get hurt and they talk about, yeah, man, he had to go to the hospital over there. I'm like, hey, bro, all right. So what's up then? Because I don't feel confident that somebody's just going to step into that role on our roster right now. And that's why I'm like, yo, if we don't have that for a while, we're going to need to bring some help in here. Otherwise, our offense is going to feel a lot more labored, a lot more restrained. And I don't think we really want to deal with that. So shout out, though, to some of the negatives that I did have in the game, man. And hopefully, y'all agree and don't disagree too much. Hopefully, I ain't got like 30 different things on y'all list of what we did wrong. But either way, I appreciate you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button one time and subscribe, baby, if you're new to the channel.